Hello, I'm Richard Verkley and welcome to businessandfranchiseopportunity.com. The following videos in this series cover the questions you need to ask in order to make an informed and wise purchasing decision on the type of franchise or business opportunity that is right for you. Now to the questions. And so let's talk about dollars. You have to pay a franchise fee if you'd like to buy a franchise. On the other hand, when you're starting up a business, you have to pioneer the systems and the methodologies for that business. So, it may seem expensive buying a franchise, putting out $50, $100, or $200,000. But if you could do things perfectly from the beginning, I think you would have a savings there. But let's say you can't do it perfectly from the beginning. And I think the best way to tell this story is to really sort of use a car analogy. And the one I'd like to tell you or use is, you can imagine if you're thinking of starting up your own business, what you're really doing is saying, I'm going to build a new car. In fact, my car is going to be better than your car because, in the end, you're going to want to come to my business because I have better ideas. Well, great, good on you. Build the car, you get the car built, you put in the new dash and and the better tires, and you do a number of things different than your competitor, and you push it out of the garage, and it gets halfway down the street and the wheel falls off. And you bring it back into the garage and you put the wheel back on, you use better lug nuts, and you push it back out there and it gets halfway down the street and the engine fails. You bring it back in, you put in a new engine, you use better electronics, and you put it back out there, and the car starts going down the street again and the windshield drops off. This time you bring it back in, but you're out of money. It's cost you so much money trying to get this car to operate that you were almost there. I mean, probably if you'd finished this windshield problem, the thing would have ran perfectly. But as many startups and many new businesses start, you run out of working capital, you can't fix the car, and so this 95% well-running business can't get off the ground and it fails. And I've talked about failure in another video, and this is some place that you don't want to go. Now let's look at the franchise. Well, before you got there, the franchise has been developing their car, putting it out on the street, having it come back, having a wheel fall off, fixing that wheel, pushing it back out, except they have many units and they have many businesses out there, and all 20 of them or 40 of them or 80 of them are contributing to the cost of fixing the wheel. And everyone benefits every time the wheel gets fixed. And the way they do that is they charge a franchise fee, where the franchisor gets this money every month, and their job is to continue to make the car drive better. So you can quickly see with contribution of multiple units that the cost of repairing the wheel might be $10 each. Your cost of repairing the wheel might be $2,000 depending on what actually has to happen. So when you look at it from sort of that simple point of view about building a better car, you can see that if you do start up, it may be cheaper in the beginning, but ultimately in the end, you need more money to sustain yourself, to learn the process and the methodology. So I'm not saying this is going to happen every time, and maybe you can step into a business that was identical to what you were doing for a living before, but you will still spend dollars developing things. And you may have run a large department in some sort of buying service that you've now started on your own, and all of a sudden you're going to find out that, well, when you ran that department and maybe it did $2 million a year, that there was 5 other staff sort of backing you up and doing the financials and preparing the marketing. When you step out on your own, you're going to wear all of these hats. When you're inside of a franchise, somebody else is wearing all of those hats, and they're providing that to you. They're providing the software, they're providing the methodology, they're providing the systems, they're providing the marketing ability. So all of these things are an enhancement and help you go, but in fact, you have to pay for that. So what are the differences? Systems, process, methodology. Do you have to pay for it? Yes, you do. You're going to pay a franchise fee, you're going to pay a royalty fee on a monthly basis. But ultimately, in the end, what you're looking to do if you're interested in a franchise is mitigate risk. And I think probably the most outstanding thing that jumps to my mind when it comes to the difference, I thought about the very same thing when I started in my own first franchise. And I can tell you clearly, as if I thought this thought yesterday, and this was almost 25 years ago, my first thought was I had a young family. And I really couldn't afford the risk to fail. So I went out and I did my research and I attended a franchise show. I bought a very good brand and it cost me a lot of money, but what it did was mitigate my risk, and it allowed me to grow and develop other units and other franchises. And ultimately, it gave me a business education that was absolutely incredible. I took what I learned from that franchise and later on became a master license and later on became a franchisor with units in multiple countries. And it all started there by getting a top quality education. And that is one of the largest benefits of buying a franchise. If you have never been in a business of your own, they're going to teach you how to do that right and help you mitigate the mistakes. And there's nothing that says you have to continue to be a franchise all your life. Once you've learned these lessons, you've built the cash flow and you've put additional dollars away, maybe your next adventure is going to be a startup on your own and it won't be a franchise. So this doesn't mean it's for everybody. You know, you need to analyze it yourself and see if this is perfect for you or right for you at this time in your life. You need to concern yourself with, you know, your family and the capital and, you know, how much risk you can take. And once again, a number of these topics are actually inside of some of the other videos we've done or the questions that have been asked. So make sure you see our other videos. It helps you kind of look at this in a much larger light. So thank you very much, and thank you for your questions.
Hello, this is Richard Verkley. I'd like to thank you for watching my videos. If you're interested in purchasing a franchise and looking for additional information to help you make an informed purchasing decision, I'd like you to come to my website at www.businessandfranchiseopportunity.com. Thank you.